Hello and welcome to another walkthrough of how to solve the Windows shellcoding exercise level 1. So if you take a look at the source code here, now we have turned on ASLR and Pi, and we're going to use a format string bug to leak a stack address since we are just inputting shellcode directly on the stack, and as you can see here, the stack that we're inputting to is still executable by this virtual protect call. So what we're going to want to do is leak a stack address, figure out what the offset to that leak is to the next input here, and then we want to override the return pointer on this buffer, in this function, with the start address of this buffer right here. Because then we'll just pop this buffer's address right into the instruction pointer, and that will start executing our shellcode, which is lying on the stack. So as you can see here, I'm using the %p format string specifier to do the stack leak. And then I'm doing some calculations here to get the stack leak into hex integer format in Python so we can calculate the offset. And then I figured out that the offset from my leak to the start of the next buffer is minus hex f8, so that's why I'm subtracting that value and then printing it, and I'm just calling that address input shellcode because that's where our shellcode in this payload is going to be written to. So we want to return to this address right here because that's going to contain the beginning of our shellcode. So let me just run this and then attach the debugger and then press enter here again. And then when I step down here, we can see that fget is going to read into the buffer called cdfacff620, and that is exactly the same as the shellcode address that we calculated here. So if I just step down to the return, we can see that now the save return pointer has been overwritten with this exact address, and if I step into, we're going to see that the shellcode is going to set up WinExec exactly like the last exercise, and then when I step into here, we can just step down through WinExec until the create process A call here, and that pops our calculator. So the exploit works. And now for demonstration purposes, I'm just gonna run it one last time here without the debugger, and we can see that our calculator starts. So thank you very much for watching.